What's up, everyone? It's John here with the new season of BRC Racing Championship. This season we're racing in the NASCAR Wheel Modified cars. On the pole for this race at Gateway or Worldwide Technology is Kyle Cleveland. Basically the same people from last season is in this as well. A few new people that are completely new, and some that are just new to this league, but are of course familiar with other leagues that I do as well. This season, it's a timed race, 45 minutes. So here we go, green flag. We're racing at Gateway. And in turn number one, they go. Oh, the 86 gets loose. He gets sideways and a huge crash off turn number two. 18 goes up in the air, big hits. And the caution will come out right away as the 86 of John gets turned sideways. Or, well, he got to get, looks like he got loose. Let's see if we can back this up real quick and see what happened here, as it looks like, yep, he gets loose and everybody else just trying to check up and avoid him, run into each other and cause what is pretty much well known in the modified series, the big ones, especially at bigger tracks. You can see Jonathan Orndorff in the 20, he's involved a little bit. And a few others as well. But the first caution is out before we even get off to number two, as John and the 86 will get going once again. But yeah, unfortunately, these cars can be a handful, and right off the bat, saw what happens when they there's right on the restart. What can happen with these cars? Everyone just kind of checks up, gets loose, and big crash to begin this race at Gateway or Worldwide Technology. Again, 45 minutes. It was like 2 minutes and 20 seconds or so when they started. So we're roughly about already a minute into this race. As you can see, guys coming in, let's see, I think that's the 25 of David there. He's coming down pit road to get some service. So from the naked eye, it doesn't look like there's a lot of damage, but it's kind of hard with these cars to really see the damage. It's basically told to you, and sometimes you can see the damage. Do a copper view. I got the view. Look, he just took his fast spare and he's off and away. Get back to the leaders here, as we'll get going racing here soon again. Got Kyle Cleveland, Kyle Carpenter second, Robert Beater in third, Gage Bookman in fourth place, and Clayton Cyrus in fifth. Your top five already in this race. Overall, we have 16 drivers in this race. It only shows the top 14. Pretty sure if I go into settings, I can probably fix that, but we do have some new people in the back. Now, unless I will always say this, and maybe I will ask them permission, because the last time I didn't do this, and here's why. I already knew a lot of these guys, and we've already done broadcasting styles beforehand, so they were having an issue with me doing this. But there are some few new guys in here, so you will see the names in cars. I won't announce them as their names unless they give me permission. I will probably ask them in Discord and stuff. Just give permission because I want to, you know, say, hey, I don't want to be named or whatever. That's fine. Or even seen, I'll try my best. I mean, that's kind of hard to do. I like to do these podcasts. It's kind of hard to, you know. But I always want to give permission to do this. Pace car lights are off. We're going back to green flag racing once again. Pace car's off. Kyle Cleveland will lead him to the green flag here once again. Green flag. We're back to racing. Great jump by Kyle Cleveland. Carpenter's second. Side by side for third into turn number 1 with Beater and that was the 36 of Gage Bookman. He'll get actually gets third. He was behind a little bit. Then shoots out out like a can and gets to the third position. Roberts. And there's another caution again. This time it looks like it's in the back. And there's the 22 of Alex Reno. We're gonna take it back and see what happened in this wreck here. Let's see. It looks like that the 26 of Gage, or 26 of Guzzy. Sorry, I'm getting my G's crossed up. Guzzy gets into the that's a weird look there. Gets in the grass. The ATM plane, I mean, absolute neck code there. I mean, it doesn't look like. Let me try to see if I can get a better angle of this. Go on chase view. Oh no, there's contact. It just happened so quick. Blaine trying to avoid the 26, gets into the 22 of Alex. And, sure that was a green car, but gets it as well. And it looks like, yes, Alex Reno is damaged, unfortunately. So he's going to have to use his fast repair. You're allowed one fast repair in this race, or in this league, in this season. Definitely going to have to use that up. Some people have to use their fast repairs up early. As we're back under caution once again. It's like some guys are making pit stops now. There are no set of tires in this league for this season. It was warned to us that we could have to make a pit stop for fuel. Not guaranteed. So definitely got to look out for that. Do a top 5 rundown again. Kyle Cleveland in the lead. Kyle Carpenter second. Robert Beater in third. Fourth is Clayton Cyrus. And fifth is Caleb. And let's see. Some guys like Gage come in back to 14th. He was up in the top 5. David in the 25 and 6. Blaine was in that accident in 7th, but must have not had enough significant damage or enough contact to where he thought he had to come in. Got Jonathan Orndorff as well in that 29th. Nick Gould in the 3 car in 10th. And right there. Got Jonathan Orndorff rocking that Pepsi car. Again, I will not try to go through so many paint schemes and sponsors because for the love of God, I will mess them up. So I guess if they're blunt obvious, kind of like Nick Gould in the 3 car. He's got a Bass Pro Shop paint scheme. As we're double fouled back up for green flag action again. We're roughly about 8 minutes into this race. Remember, it counts down even when we're not green yet. That is race laps for you. Remember, this is done under replay mode, so I would assume if I was to do this live, this wouldn't happen. It wouldn't count down as early as it does. But because I'm doing this in replay mode, it is counting down laps. It just counts down early. I don't know. It's their settings. Alright, here we go. Back to green flag racing once again. Pace car is off. As Kyle Cleveland's waiting to get on the gas. He does. Green flag. We're back racing once again. And Kyle gets a really good jump there over Carpenter. Side by side for third. Between the 4 and 05. Looks like Cyrus will take over the third position. Got a mess back here. Orndorff in 20, got the 2. Caleb. Ooh, Orndorff had to back off without running into the number 2. Nick on the outside trying to get a run. Nick may be looking to the inside here into turn number 3. Doesn't. Here goes Orndorff to the inside. Take over the 8th position, and he will. Here comes Nick in the 3. He'll dive underneath turn number 1 to take over the 9th position from Caleb. Got a big mess up front here. We got Blaine in 18 trying to pass the 4 of Robert. And boy, if it wasn't for just a little bit of different colors, it would be hard to know which one they are. Especially at nighttime. As Blaine will go to the outside. Here comes David in the 25. He'll shoot to the outside as well. Robert Beater trying to take over the looks like he will take over the 5th position. As comes the 18 underneath Cyrus in the 05 for that battle. He'll take that over. Here comes though Robert Beater back trying to get that 4th position from the 05. Looks like almost trying to get it, but can't get it down to the bottom in 3 and 4. Momentum on top. And now it's side by side between the 4 and the 25. For the 5th position, into turn number 1. It looks like maybe David will get it. Nope, still side by side. As Robert gets loose off to number 2. He'll save it. And allow the 25 to get by. Here comes the 20 of Jonathan Orndorff underneath the 26 of Guzzi. And he'll get by as well as Nick in the 3 will get by as well. There goes Nick. Trying to look inside of Jonathan to take over the 7th position. Can't do it quite yet. There goes Orndorff, dives into turn number 3. Almost makes contact, but clears Robert off turn number 4 and take that position over for the 6th position. Here comes Nick. About to take over that position as well. 7th position. Oh, Jonathan had to check up a little bit there. Not to run into the 25. There goes David inside. I don't think it's loose. Goes wide. And he's going to lose. Oh, and gets in the wall a little bit as well. Contact off turn number 4. Contact between the 3 and 05. Johnson's going to lose all those positions he just gained. We're in a cluster 3 wide off turn number 2. Johnson's not sure where to go as there's still 3 wide into turn number 3. Contact into the 05. Bounces off into the 26. Ford does. 26 trying to hang on to it. Of Guzzy, man. That's insane here. And now the 86 of John, who was up front at the beginning of this race, got started that first wreck there of the race. Now moves back up. Gets past Jonathan and Guzzy and will move back into the 8th position. Jonathan's trying to get back around Guzzy for that 9th position. Got a battle back here between the 2 and the 36 and the 78 of Mitchell, trying to get by the 22 of Al Trino. As 78, Mitchell is still looking into the inside. .36 of Gage still trying to get by the 2. Can't do it. As Jonathan has gone by the 26 again and moved back to 9th position. And then there's a battle between Robert Beater and Clayton Cyrus. And that's for the 6th position. Robert throws it into turn number 3 and we'll make that pass. As looks like for right now, everyone has held 25 of David. Oh, look at this. We got a battle right here. We got the 3 and the 18 side by side into turn number 3. Nick's trying to take over the 3rd position in that 3 car. Looks like he's got him almost cleared. Not quite. The 25 looking maybe make it 3 wide. No, he's going to push Nick down the front straightaway. Into turn number 1. They go, can't almost get him cleared. Oh, and then the lap down vehicle of Rick. Now 3 wide, getting past the lap vehicle. Still side by side down the back straightaway. Nick's trying to throw it into turn number 3. Gets onto the rumble strips a little bit. Still not quite clear yet. Still side by side. Great battle for a 3rd position. Into turn number 1 once again. Nick throws it into turn number 1. Side by side coming out in turn number 2. Nick has to pull the car down. It's not make contact, and he's going to lose momentum and allow the 18 of Blaine to looks like keep the 3rd position. Now David in that 25. He's looking to the inside of Nick. As Nick's not done yet, he's going to come back to the trying to look to the inside again for the 3rd position. As of right now, it looks like everybody is single file for the most part. Here comes David on 25, looking to the inside, can't do it. One thing we have not talked about yet are the leaders. We have Carpenter, who's though taking the lead over from it's gonna be Kyle Cleveland. Kyle Carpenter is taking over the lead. Now, I will say this. I talked about how a fuel mileage potential race. And from what I did on Thursday or on over the weekend, before this race, over the weekend and last weekend, not this coming weekend, last weekend, it was going to be close if you could make it on fuel for a 45-minute race. So some of these guys could be saving fuel to make sure that they can make it all the way, but we'll see if that's the case. But let's get back to all the action back here and see what's going on. It still looks like the 18-3 and the 25 are now single foul, potentially trying to line up and, well, maybe run down the top two here. But all the trying to passing, shuffling around, it does slow them up, so maybe that's what's going on. Or, as well, they could be saving fuel as well for the end. That goes wide out turn number 2. 25. David almost gets in the back of him, but hangs onto it. Go back into this pack here as we got the 4 of Robert Beard trying to connect to that group of cars, group of 3 there, to make a group of 4, as well as Jonathan Orndorff and Clayton Cyrus trying to get part of this group, potentially to now again save fuel, but also to run down the top 2. Art Beater looking to run down those guys. Let's go on board with Robert Beater in the number 4 car. See how it is. Trying to run down these 3 guys here. You can actually see the front 2. The leaders look like they're slowing up just a little bit. Could be, again, saving fuel, or with the draft is maybe these 3 now 4, make it 4 because of Robert Beater getting to this group could be help pushing them forward to catch the leaders. Though these cars do not have a wicked draft, they do have a draft, and if they work together, you can you're able to catch the other 2. So just like Cup Series racing, Xfinity trucks, and all that, super speed races, 4 better than 2 in that sense, right? You gotta work together and be able to run those guys down. So, or again, the front leaders are trying to save fuel, and so they're allowing that gap to shrink so they can save gas, but also work together in the draft. We'll see on that. Go back here. It looks like there's side by side for these 8th position, and it looks like John in 86 will take over that position and get to the 8th position. Clinton Cyrus will be the 9th, and Guzzi will be in 10th. Guzzi has got some bumper damage there. The Nerf bar there in the front is a little bent up, but no harm, no foul for these cars. Check on the leaders here. Again, they're basically running nose to tail, trying to save probably gas and just to stay in that draft together. As we're getting close to the halfway mark here in this race. I think we're actually just past the halfway mark. Well, remember, it takes about 2 minutes, so yeah, we're pretty close to it. About halfway through this race. As the front two are trying to just work together, trying to save that gas and work to get in the draft, but that gap that was once 3 seconds is now down to 2.4. And bet you if I go back, you'll see it. Yes, the group here of 4, which now looks like they're passing each other, so this could hurt the pack. As Jonathan Order's looking inside of Robert Beater in that 4 car. Robert gets into the wall a little bit. No harm, no foul there. As Jonathan trying to get underneath, almost has him clear. It does have him clear, but the momentum on the outside. But the 4 will get him side by side down the back straight once again. Order throws it into turn number 3. Almost has him clear. Does have him clear. He'll take over the 6th position. As Jonathan gets in the wall, pushing wide. Here comes Robert back to the inside, trying to take that position back over. Going into turn number 1. And he will cross over. Here comes Jonathan back to the inside. Now side by side once again down the back straightaway. Jonathan throws it into turn number 3 once again, trying to pull a slide job, can't do it. Robert holds it out strong to the outside. Oh, Jonathan hits the rumble strips, gets loose, hangs on to it, and will finally lose that position to Robert, and Robert will maintain the 6th position. So from the gap here, still 2.4 seconds to the front leaders of Kyle Carpenter and Kyle Cleveland. Don't worry about the thing moving around. It always glitches out. As we're approaching pretty close to the end of this race. Now seeing how that these guys are not necessarily catching these guys again. One of 2 things are happening. One, with that little mix-up in the back between the 4 and the 20, did that slow down the process? Or has Kyle Carpenter and Kyle Cleveland picked up the tempo again? It's still hovering around that 2.4 seconds from third to the lead. Now streaking a little bit down to 2.3. But the question is, do these guys have enough gas to make it to the end? And if not, will they have to pit? One, if they will pit, when do they pit? Do they wait till the last second? Have enough people saved enough fuel to make it to the end? That gap has opened back up to 2.5, so kind of tells me that maybe Carpenter and Cleveland have decided to go for it. We'll see on what they're going to do. Maybe they're going to try to save fuel later in the run, or just try to go for it. And if they have to pit, maybe everyone else will run out as well. This group here is kind of somewhat disorganized. They're together, but not together. I mean, obviously you don't want to run in the vehicle's wake in the turn, so you kind of separate each other from the turns, take different grooves, but on straightaways, they're just not close enough. That gap, though, is back down to 2.3 seconds. As the 4 of Robert was looking inside. He is kind of looking inside. Now, maybe he's just taking that inside position to Nope, he is side by side. This could hurt this pack here a little bit. As these two get side by side, one thing's going to help is Jonathan Order. If he was falling off in this pack a little bit, them getting side by side, the draft will help push them back together. Now the question is, who does he go with, the 4 or the 1? Actually, it's going to look just be simple as 4 gets back in line. That gap is down to 2 seconds now between Nick and Kyle Carpenter. So it's starting to slow down a little bit more, or is just Nick faster? He's not really in this pack anymore. It's kind of separated a little bit. As Jonathan looks to the inside of the 4. Can't do anything there. We'll get back in line. That gap's down to 1.8, and not only that, the 18 of Blaine has caught back up to Nick. So maybe, just maybe, this will help as Robert gets sideways and Jonathan gets sideways. Off to number 2. Trying to hang on to side by side. This could hurt them again. They may lose this draft here in this pack. Jonathan's trying to throw it in there. Robert holds it tight to him, Jonathan to the inside. Side by side down the front straightaway. And I think Jonathan is going to just kind of give it up because he realizes it is hurting these two and may lose the front 3 here of Nick, Blaine, and Dave. We are getting close to the end of this race. As we'll go back to the front 2 leaders. Again, you can see them now pretty close to the big group there. And not only on top of that, Kyle Cleveland has just taken over the lead. And Carpenter back to second. Could that just mean that they're trying to work together to save fuel? One get in the front for a little bit and the other one get in front a little bit. You know, you don't have to use a lot of fuel if you're in a draft. Kind of just partially throttle it behind someone. We'll see what they're doing, but that gap is roughly about the same. 1.8 seconds. Now we're down to 1.7. Nick is slowly catching him in this group. Slowly catching him. The real big concern is, does everyone have enough fuel to make it to the end of this race? Because the pace, from what I'm seeing, has slowed down a little bit. So it kind of tells me that they're, I mean, yes, you can have some tire wear, but these cars got a lot of grip. So my guess is that they're trying to save fuel. And it looks like now the gap between Cleveland and Carpenter is separated just a little bit. Almost to a half a second. I'm going to get back to this group here. I think now everyone is, I think, content riding where they are at this point in time. Just trying to save fuel. Save fuel and catch the leaders. Now the question is, once they catch them, what do they do? Do they decide to race it out and go for the win? Or do they just sit in line? This group is pretty much in that boat. Let's go back to some guys quickly here. Here's John in the 86. He made a pass around Clayton Cyrus, but he's only gone up as high as 8th, and he's 6 seconds behind the leaders and almost about 5 seconds behind Jonathan Order. So Maybe they're doing a different strategy back here. These guys back here they know they have to save gas, so what they're doing is just part throttle around the whole track, trying to save the fuel to make it to the end and not having to stop. And there's another note, we had that big crash, so some of these guys who caught up in this crash could have pitted and put fuel in at that time, so maybe with just a little bit of help from the cautions plus adding a little bit extra fuel, potentially, and also, again, saving fuel during the green flag run could be helping them save enough to make it to the end, so we'll see what happens there. That pack of 3 actually was a pack of 5, is now a pack of 3, has caught up, or pretty close caught up to the leaders, is down to almost a half a second, 0.7 tenths of a second. But then maybe another lap or two, they should be right on the bumper. Again, what do? Do they go try to go for the lead? Or do they just sit there and wait? We'll find out what happens here. We're getting pretty close. As we'll tick by another minute, we will have roughly about 10 more minutes left in this race. But the question is, will they have enough fuel? As Nick in the 3, the 25 of David, and the 18 of Blaine have caught up to the leaders. Here goes Carpenter to the inside, looking for the lead again. Looks like he's going to stay in line. Maybe a little fake out, or maybe just try and block. Here goes Carpenter to the inside of Kyle Cleveland. He'll drive it in deep into turn number 3. Almost has it clear. He does. He'll take the lead back over. As this group has caught, here comes the 25 for David trying to pass the 18. Can't do it. Here comes Nick. Does Nick have anything? Here comes the 18. It's a little wide, but can't make a move. These two, Jonathan and Robert Beater, have been switching it back and forth. And now Beater seems to be really slowing up. Does this mean he's saying, I got to save more fuel than what's left? So he's backing off. Jonathan looks like he's still charging, but maybe he's got to save fuel as well. But we're going to stay up to this front pack here as Carpenter still has the lead. Cleveland in second. Nick in third. Blaine in fourth. Fifth to David in the 25. As they approach a lap down vehicle here. Passing the 7-2 as he'll go one lap down. Right now, everyone is just single file. Could potentially be playing the gas game or the fuel save mileage game here. Getting down late in this race. We're getting closer to 5 minutes left. The question is, who has enough fuel and who doesn't? Nick seems to be just wanting to sit right behind Kyle Cleveland and push him. He's not ready, eager to go yet. If he even can. Oh, Nick gets a little loose off turn 2. So does Blaine 18 a little bit. Hangs on to it. Now that pack of 3 that charged up to the field, kind of losing touch again, the front leaders. Same as Jonathan Orndorff, him trying to pass around Robert Dieter slowed him up enough to where he can't catch this group again. And you can see the 4 has really dropped off, so it kind of tells me he's trying to save fuel even more, even harder on his fuel. Remember, I gotta count down 2 minutes of leeway in the ticker that will consider it roughly 5 minutes ago. So we're not quite to 5 minutes left yet. Oh, we're getting close. As now Blaine looks to the inside, trying to take over that 3rd position. David in the 25 is going to push him. Trying to push him around the 3. Trying to give him a good push. Can't do it though. The 18 throws it in deep, gets a little bit loose. And Nick will hold on to the 3rd position. It's really more of a cat and mouse at this point in time. On who's really saving, who's not saving, who's really is just trying to get positions or not. As we're getting closer and closer to the finish. As here comes Kyle Cleveland looking to try to get past again. Nick to the outside. The 24. It can't quite get there. So it could be a crossover here. It does not. It's going to give him a push down the back straightaway. As Carpenter still trying to hold on to that slim margin, the lead into turn number 3. As now David in the 25 gets past the 18. And we move on to that 4th position. And I can say at this point in time, we're about 5 minutes left in this race. So now it comes down to this. Really, who has enough fuel and who doesn't? Can the 77 save enough gas to make it to the end? Can anyone in this top 5 here save enough to the end? We'll find out here in a few more minutes. As everyone seems to be, I was about to go back to the end, but here comes Kyle Cleveland, shoots to the outside. Can't do anything there. Blaine trying to get past the 25 of David once again. I think everyone at this point in time says it's go time. Enough is enough. We don't have enough. If we have enough, great. If we don't, we don't. We're just going to have to go for it. Carpenter keeps tight off turn number 3 and 4. Now Kyle Cleveland pushing onto the bumper of the 77. Nick tight against those 2 as well. Into turn number 1. Almost. Check. Oh, contact between the 3 and the 25. That allows Blaine to get by again. David hangs on to it. Major checkup going into turn number 1. Almost caused a wreck there. So if that caution came out, it would have been great for generally the leaders and everyone else. But as right now, we're getting down to it. Remember, it's not quite 1 minute left. It's about about 2 minutes left, maybe. Close to it. As there's 77. Where's Nick? I think Nick has come in. He has. Nick Gould in. He does not have enough gas as well as the 18 of Blaine. He does not have enough gas as well. They're coming in to get some fuel. Remember, there's no tires but they're going to be able to get fuel to make it to the end. Go back up to the leaders as Carpenter has pulled away in a pretty good gap now, about half a second. As now maybe they've seen those guys come in, they have to really save enough gas now. We should see the white flag here probably the next couple laps. Does that mean these guys have enough fuel? There's Blaine in the 18. He's coming back out. Looks like Carpenter's going to stay up for one more lap. As well as the 24. I can't trust on Barney to wave a flag or not. I would say we're probably one more lap, two more laps, or close to one lap to go. As Carpenter still got enough fuel, it looks like. No, he's coming in. Here comes Carpenter. He's not going to have enough fuel. The 24 of Kyle Cleveland stays out. Nick's going back around to get his lap back. As we're getting pretty close to the end of this race here. Please, Barney, for the love of goodness, wave that white flag for me. If you ever believe in anything, wave the white flag for me so I know what wins the last lap. And it looks like Kyle's out. Kyle Cleveland is out of gas. And that's going to leave John, the 86, who was caught up in that wreck early. Maybe was able to top off the fuel. He's going to be able to come back around. And there's the checkered flag. And John in the 86 is going to win the race on fuel mileage. And if this is all correct, behind David second, Alex third, Kyle Carpenter fourth, Gage Bookman fifth, Blaine in sixth, Kyle Cleveland in seventh, and Jonathan Orndorff will be eighth, Robert ninth, Zach and Guzzi will be 10th, Cyrus 11th, 12th, Gould, Caleb in 13th, and Mitchell in 14th, as well as the 72 and 70 will finish 15th and 16th. So John on the fuel mileage gets it done. As man, that was crazy to get a fuel mileage race in the first race. Now, generally we won't have fuel mileages. These cars don't necessarily, well, frankly, they don't take live action pit stops. They do basically, they split the race in half. They throw a halfway break, come in, change one set of tire, one tire, and then put gas back in it. But this was, but yeah. That is going to do it for this one. If you did like this broadcast, make sure to hit that like button if you're new to this channel and want to see more of these Peter Racing Championship broadcasts. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you for the next one.